Now we'll see, as we have seen, we have to make allocation at this row. That means F1 row we have to make allocation. In F1 row, we will compare all the costs. The lowest cost is 5. So we have to make allocation in this cell where we can make maximum 40 units of allocation, because W1 requires only 40 units. 40 units. So here we will make allocation 40 and this is satisfied. So here, but here in 50 units, what we need to see is out of 50 we have only 10 units left, because 40 are allocated to that F1 W1. So now this is complete. Now again we'll see this W1 column is satisfied, and when we see F2 is also satisfied. Now again we'll take penalties. So since this W1 is satisfied, we are not going to consider this column for penalty purpose. We will take only these 3 cells, 8, 10, 13, these 3 cells. The difference is 2. 8 is the least, next least is 10, so 2 is the next penalty. And then, as we know, this 2 we are not going to take into consideration, and similarly the 7 is also not there. And anyhow, this 8 is satisfied, we are not going to make any allocations in that row. Then we will go to third row and see. So 7 is the least and 8 is the next least. So we will write this 1 penalty. And in the column, since this is satisfied, we are not going to use this, because it is satisfied, we don't make any allocation. And then here we can make allocation to 6 is the least, next list is 7, so we are writing 1. Then here we have this 8 and 10, because F2 row we are not going to take consideration. 2 is the penalty, 8 and 10. Then here 9 and 10, same. Here 1 is. So when we see this, we have to make allocation. So we try to make allocation. So we'll check where we can make allocation. So here we have 2, 1, and in the column penalties 1, 2. We'll make the allocation. So here we will take any 2 we can take, it is our choice. Arbitrarily we can make 2, these 2. So here we will make 5, because in this column least one is 8, because 2 is already exhausted, and here 5 we have to make allocation. So here I'll write 5. So this 5 is also allocated. So we have we don't require any units in W3. Now again we will go and make penalties. So now this W3 is also satisfied. Now you see W1 40 satisfied, W2 is not made allocation, W3 85 satisfied, So these W1, W3 columns we are not going to take into consideration. So in F1 row we have 8 and 13. That means 5 is the penalty, and then here no, we are not going to use this because that is exhausted. And here we will see 7 and 10 because W1, W3 is not taken into consideration. 7 and 10 means here we have 3. Then similarly here in W1 we are not going to take into consideration. Here 6, 7, 1, and here since this is satisfied, we are not going to take that into consideration. And here 9, 10. So here also 1. So among these things, 5 is the highest penalty. So in this row only we have to make allocation. So if we have to make allocation, we can make in this cell only, because after 5 which W1 anyhow we cannot make, W2 8 where we can make allocation of only 10 units because only 10 units are available from factory 1. So we'll write here 10. Okay. So these 10 are also satisfied. So that means we cannot use even F1, F2. And in case of this thing, we have made allocation of 10 in W2. That means out of 35, 10 are satisfied and 25 still we have to make allocation. So W1 is satisfied, W3 is satisfied, F1 is satisfied, F2 is satisfied. That means we have only F3 row we can make allocation. Now we'll examine F3 row. The least one is 7. That would be our choice. 60 are available. So we require 25 units. We will make 25 units. So this is 25 units. So this 25 is also satisfied. But out of 60, earlier we had 5 made allocation, 55 was there. 55 was there. Out of 55, now we'll make 25 allocation. So here we have 30 units available. In 30 units available, and now W1 is satisfied, W2 is satisfied, W3 is satisfied, only W4 is remaining. 30 units are there because that F1 row, F2 row we cannot make allocation only. So only this cell is possible. So we will make 30 units here as allocation. So now this 30 is also satisfied. This is satisfied. Now we have to find the total cost of transportation. So total is given by into 5 plus 10 into 8 plus 80 into 2 plus 25 into 7 plus 5 into 8 plus 30 into 10 is equal to 200 plus 80 plus 160 plus 175 plus 40 plus 30 to 300 is equal to 955. So this is the cost of transportation using Vogles approximation method. When we observe these three methods, we have got the lowest cost that has occurred at Vogles approximation method. Now after this, we check for optimality. What this check for optimality indicates is whether we have arrived at the lowest cost of transportation or not. For that we have a method known as MODI method, or we also call that as modified distribution method. So for this what we will do is, we will take any of these three solutions and try to see whether we have arrived at optimal solution. However, it is always desirable to take the lowest cost occurring method, because that was the least cost we have reached, and still we want to check whether we have reached the lowest cost. Since Vogles approximation method gave us 955 rupees, we will see whether we can further reduce that or not. If we cannot reduce by applying, by checking with the MODI's method, that means we have reached optimal solution. And we will apply and see whether we have reached the optimal solution or not.